Hey bros, so I've been playing Essence Drain Contagion and I got to tier 15 maps yesterday. The build is feeling super strong, both in damage and defense, and it's also really cheap to get into. To explain the build a bit, what we're doing is dotting enemies with Contagion and Essence Drain, and whenever an infected enemy dies, it spreads those two dots to any enemies nearby. When fighting rares or bosses, we also use our Dark Effigy totems to bombard enemies with more chaos damage. For defense, because of synergies with our Lich ascendancy, we're walking around with permanent 25% damage reduction, and through Blasphemy and Temporal Chains, we're slowing down everything around us, but not just movement speed, also attack and cast speed. When you add to this our massive energy shield pool, you're going to have one of the tankiest builds in the game in your hands. So, I want to show you everything about the build, from all the skills and the support gems, to all the gear you need to get, as well as all of the passive skill tree. I'm also going to include an import string for the Better Trading browser extension to make your finding the gear way easier and very cheap. The footage I'm showing on screen is a bit scuffed, but I really wanted to show you my very first tier 15 map. It includes the final corrupted Nexus quest, and I want you to keep in mind that this is with the gear I bought at level 65 whenever I got to endgame. And it cost me just under a divine, I don't remember exactly how much. And before we get to the guide, please leave a like on the video, as it really helps with YouTube pushing the video to more people. And that will help the channel grow, of course. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get on with the guide now. So I've made this Mobalytics written guide. You'll be able to find it on the description or the pinned comment. Let's start with the rotation. It's really simple, you're just gonna be pressing Contagion and Essence Drain for clearing. And when you bump into a rare or a boss, you also press your totems, Dark Effigy, you want to place both down. And then you also have the spare, which is chaos resistance reduction on the enemies. For bossing, you also have Sigil of Power to improve your spell damage even more, but I would worry more about just surviving over keeping that up. Let's talk about skill gems. I'm not gonna go over everything, you can just come here and look at all the supports yourself. Let's just talk about the more important ones. For Essence Drain, you want to make sure you have chain 1 or 2, not 3. This will make your clearing far more enjoyable actually, and better. For Dark Effigy, Overabundance, because this makes you be able to place one more totem. Urgent totems makes you be able to place them way faster, and it also makes them shoot faster. And then for poison, you want this because the Dark Effigy will shoot more projectiles based on the number of chaos damage over time effects the enemy has. So that's why we're gonna be poisoning with Dark Effigy. Contagion doesn't really deal much damage itself, so we're just gonna want to infect more targets each time we press with Unleash. Magnified Area is for having a greater area of contagion for spreading when an enemy dies, and then we go into some more cast speed. For the spare, you want to have the Decaying Hex for sure, because this is one more damage over time effect for the Dark Effigy. So I mentioned here about weapon sets. The spare we want to use on weapon set 2 only, because of the passive skill tree, we'll go over it. And then Withering Presence and Blasphemy gonna be on both weapon sets, and then everything else on just weapon set 1. The last thing there is to mention about skills is that we can do a little bit of a cool thing if we have 20 more spirit from gear, which is to use Ravenous Swarm. It's just a bunch of mosquitoes that are going to be around you at all times, and they're going to poison enemies whenever they attack them. This is going to make it so you don't have to use the poison support on Dark Effigy, and you can use something else. And also, it's really cool that you can just use something like Maim or Blind and even Calling Strike on the Ravenous Swarm to have even more utility. It's gonna make enemies slower, have less accuracy, and that's gonna make us even tankier that way. Passive skill tree. So, first we're going to be wanting to get all the spell damage and chaos damage notes. I felt way more than enough tanky to be doing that. And we also want to grab curse magnitudes. That's going to be on the weapon set 2, which are in green, you can see everywhere. Red is weapon set 1. And then once we grab all of that good stuff, we want to start getting percentage faster start of energy shield recharge. That's going to be more important than getting increased maximum energy shield, which we do third. And you really want to make sure you get the heavy buffer notable first. It's right there. Because it's 5% permanent damage reduction. Because it bypasses 5% damage, it bypasses energy shield. So, when it comes to ascendancy priority, soulless form into eternal life, it's what makes us the tankiest. And then once you do third ascendancy, you choose either between Eldritch Empowerment or Rupture the Soul. I mentioned I have not tested Rupture the Soul. I hear that it can make your clear worse. It can make your contagion spread worse. But if you feel like you don't have enough energy shield recharge, which you probably will have, you can use that instead. Now for the gear. And I want to first mention I have an import string here for better trading. The browser extension, I link it there too. This is going to make it so if you go to trade and you have it installed, you import it, you can just press right here and it's going to give you the gear that you should be getting for cheap. It's going to be filtering by level, 65, level of chaos or spell skills 4, and this is really what you want. I don't want anything else. This is just 1 exalt. I have this for focus with +3 to level of spell skills, 3 chaos, and etc. This is looking for maximum life, 2 resists, 2 elemental resists, also energy shield base at least 300. You're going to be really tanky, and as you can see, a lot of this is very cheap. Just 1 exalt, 2 exalts for a lot of life, and resists. It's going to be cast speed, life, some res on the rings, 3 exalt, 5 exalt. It's all going to be very cheap. Also do that for the jewels. So I'm not going to go over everything about the gear. You can come and read this all yourself in more detail. Just know that Citizen Zane is going to be among the more important pieces to get immediately. It's 10% damage reduction because of our ascendancy, and you really want to make sure you get +4 to spells and +3 to spells with focus and 1. And it's also really nice to have some gain extra as extra lightning damage, because it gives us the ability to shock whenever our totems hit. Amulet, really important to get +2 to spells. You can also get +3, but it's probably gonna be very expensive for you. Also wanna make sure you get maximum energy shield, if possible. And that's going to be the case for everything except for rings. Stats for other stuff is going to be a bunch of defense, maximum life on everything, LE res on everything. It's going to be difficult to get chaos res, it's going to be expensive. And then on jewels you want to increase the maximum energy shield for sure. And probably second you want % faster start of energy shield recharge. This is really good too. I've also included some Atlas tree examples, points, whatever, for the start up until tier 15 basically. First you want to go into the left for more rare monsters, because that's where all the loot is. And then you can go either up or to the right for more quantity of precursor tablets, waystones, that's going to help, as well as there being some rarity and quantity. Whenever you're done with those, you can go down here to the left for strong boxes. You can also go to the right for essence, whichever you prefer, they're both fine. We're not going to immediately go into any explicit waystone stuff, that's for later, and I'll update the guide for that. And that's all, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time.